A U.S. cybersecurity company says Chinese hackers backed by Beijing are conducting sophisticated cyber attacks against American businesses and the U.S. government.
The company Mandiant says it has tracked scores of hacker attacks to Shanghai. It says the hackers have stolen massive amounts of data from U.S. organizations, from financial firms to aerospace companies.
VOA has been following these cyber attack stories, and I spoke with reporter Carla Babb about it. Let's take a look.
From its location just outside Washington, the cybersecurity firm Mandiant has tracked scores of cyber attacks to hackers operating near this Shanghai military building. Mandiant Chief Security Officer Richard BEJTLICH says the Chinese government directly supports the extensive cyber spy team.
The name of the game for this group is theft. They're not there to destroy data. They're not there to alter data. From what we've seen, they're there to take it and bring it back to China.
Carla Babb, in speaking with the security expert over at Mandiant, what was it that he told you that these hackers typically use the information for? What do they do with it?
Well, that's an interesting question, because what they can do with it is pretty much as far as your imagination can take you. I mean, think of all the things that are connected to the internet that you can have access to via the internet. Mandiant says the group it calls APT1 has stolen massive amounts of data from 141 organizations, mostly in the United States, ranging from financial companies to aerospace businesses. They could damage electrical grids, they could disrupt traffic in the air, they could, think of all the passwords that you have. The financial systems could be completely invaded. It just really never ends.
Now, when you think about that sort of scenario, we remember back during the Stuxnet virus infiltrating the Iranian nuclear facility. Is that the sort of thing you're talking about, where things can become so dangerous that a host country would be just so vulnerable there's nothing they can do about it, or it would be too late before they did?
Well, there's a wide range of what one country does versus the other country in what we call cyber spying. We don't really know what they're doing with this data. Anthony CORDESMAN, a defense analyst at the Center for Strategic and International Studies, says if true, China is conducting a dangerous experiment.
To either cripple or seriously injure the infrastructure, the basic way in which power, water, all of the things that are affected by the internet that are accessible from the outside that make our economy work.
China's foreign ministry rejects the accusations.
Internet hacking attacks are an international problem that should be resolved on the basis of mutual trust and respect and international cooperation. Continuous criticism based on rudimentary data is irresponsible, unprofessional, and not helpful in resolving the issue.
You have everything from what China's accused of, which is looking at information, taking information, kind of experimenting, seeing what they can take, to we've had the U.S. and Israel believed to have the Stuxnet virus.
And it's interesting because some of our other colleagues here at VOA have done a couple of other reports, Carolyn Pursuti doing one. She sort of talked about how different one country may conduct hacking to the next, but let's take a quick look at that.
Alan Paller has trained more than 145,000 cybersecurity experts around the world. He says more than 100 countries are involved in cyber espionage.
China's noisier, meaning their techniques are often easier to find. So they get caught a lot, and so you read a lot of stories about them. But the Russians are just as prolific and much more clandestine.
Paller says current firewalls, antivirus, and intrusion systems are not enough.
So although you can build high walls, people can build higher ladders. So you have to catch the guys who are good enough to get over, and the way you do that is not with tools but with skills. And right now the media companies have not focused on this as a skill area. They figure they'll hire somebody after it happens.
So what does that really say about hacking overall?
Nowhere and no one is safe from cyber spying. It's not just China. There are dozens of countries doing this every day.
And our thanks to VOA's Carla Babb for the background on that story.